movie begins with a boy called Joon-woo waking up late in the day. He sees a note from his family saying they had to leave quickly, but left him some cash for food. Instead of heading to the market, Joon-woo chooses to play video games online with his buddies for his live stream. However, their fun is cut short when one player urges him to check the news because something huge is happening. The moment Joon-woo turns on the TV, the regular program is stopped by an emergency alert, which then switches to a reporter announcing the end of the world. A warning message pops up on Joon-woo's phone before he glances out the window, and the scene outside is terrifying. The city is overrun by zombies attacking people who are screaming and rushing in every direction. The roads are in complete disorder, with cars crashing into each other and causing small blasts. A little girl calls out for her mother, and when the woman reaches her, the child begins biting into her. Joon-woo hears sounds from the hallway, confirming that the chaos has spread inside the building. When he opens his door, his neighbor Sang-chul barges in, pleading to stay because his infected brother has taken over his home. Joon-woo tries to push him out, but Sang-chul keeps resisting and blocking the way. In the end, Joon-woo allows him to use the restroom on the condition that he leaves afterward. Joon-woo then hears on TV that the outbreak is caused by an infection spreading rapidly across the country. The symptoms include violent actions and bleeding eyes, eventually leading to cannibalism. He quickly grabs a knife and aims it at Sang-chul as he steps out, noticing a wound on his hand. Sang-chul promises he's okay, but suddenly, his eyes turn red, and he starts shaking as dark veins spread across his skin. Without warning, he growls and jumps at Joon-woo, who manages to push him off and throw him out of the apartment. After struggling with the door, Joon-woo locks it just in time. Through the peephole, he watches as a huge zombie attacks Sang-chul and drags him away. Blood starts to seep under the door into the apartment. Right after, Joon-woo moves the fridge in front of the entrance to block it. He keeps trying to reach his family, but the operator tells him the call can't go through. Luckily, he gets a text from his mom telling him they are safe but unable to return home. She warns him to stay inside and survive. On TV, a news anchor advises people to store enough food and water for 60 days, making Joon-woo regret skipping the store. He begins rationing his supplies and writes, "You have to survive," on a sticky note, placing it on a family photo. The next morning, a scientist appears on TV explaining that the zombies were created by a changed virus that affects the right part of the brain. Joon-woo still can't call anyone, but notices many people online searching for their families and sharing their addresses under the tag "alive." Wanting to be rescued, Joon-woo takes a picture of himself holding a sign with his address and uploads it using the tag "I must survive." He also watches a video of a man hanging from the edge of a very tall building with his phone on a selfie stick, trying to get a stronger signal. The clip ends when the man suddenly slips and falls. The news reports that infected people don't show symptoms for a few minutes before turning. Joon-woo sends out his drone to scan the nearby apartments and realizes that nearly all of them are filled with zombies. By accident, he makes a call to his dad, which drains the drone's battery, forcing it to return. He then tries to distract himself by playing an online game, but the internet suddenly shuts down. Later that night, Joon-woo wakes up to a car alarm blaring outside. Looking out the window, he spots a policewoman shooting at her fellow officers, who have all turned into zombies. Unfortunately, she runs out of bullets, and while she's in the middle of reloading, the zombies leap onto her, biting her several times before dragging her away to another street, where even more zombies are waiting. Joon-woo tries shouting at the zombies to get their attention, but they only pause for a moment before continuing to feast on the officer. Suddenly, the huge zombie from the day before starts slamming against the door until it manages to shove the fridge aside and force it open. Joon-woo rushes to push back, but he isn't strong enough, so he dashes to the balcony and jumps over the edge. When the zombie follows him, it tumbles over the railing and crashes onto the ground while Joon-woo safely holds on. He spots the group of zombies from earlier, and realizes the police officer has turned into one of them too. Afterward, he strengthens the door's locks and feels disheartened to see that the zombies' attack destroyed most of his food supplies. That night, he records a video for his followers, sharing how scared he is about everything that's happening. On the 7th day, Joon-woo starts drinking his dad's alcohol and covers the windows with colored paper so he won't be spotted from outside. The news explains that the infection only spreads through contact with infected blood, meaning people are safe as long as they avoid getting bitten or cut. The zombies gain extreme strength and enhanced senses. Some of them can even do normal human actions, like opening doors and continuing their old routines. After seeing an ad for food, Joon-woo makes himself a bowl of ramen, only realizing too late that a sticky note had warned him this was his last meal. Frustrated, he knocks over his water bottle and goes to refill it, only to discover there's no running water left in the entire apartment. Desperate, he sucks up the few drops left on the table. On the 10th day, Joon-woo records another video, venting about how frustrated he is with the news reports telling people to just wait at home. He's eager to leave, but there are still zombies everywhere. He remembers there's an emergency app that plays a radio broadcast when an audio jack is used as an antenna, but he only has wireless earbuds. By the 15th day, Joon-woo starts dancing around his apartment to cope. Then, he hears a noise and is shocked to see his family returning. His joy lasts only a moment before he realizes he's hallucinating, causing him to break down. He collapses to the floor, losing all hope, until he's jolted by a voice message. Joon-woo hears his mother telling him to stay home, but the signal is weak and most of her words are unclear. Copying the man from the video, he stands on the balcony with a selfie stick, trying to listen while the zombies below eagerly wait for him to fall. Sadly, the message ends with the sound of a zombie attacking his family, possibly meaning they are gone. This finally pushes Joon-woo over the edge, and he starts smashing everything in the living room, but even that isn't enough to release his anger. He steps outside and begins beating a zombie with a golf club until it stops moving. As he screams for more, he turns a corner and spots a zombified Sang-chul. Joon-woo isn't afraid of just one zombie, but his shouting has drawn the attention of a huge group. He dashes to the elevator and opens the door, only to find more zombies inside. Panicked, he sprints away and hides just in time. Once the horde is gone, he cautiously makes his way back to his apartment. A new zombie appears nearby, but it's blind, so Joon-woo waits for it to move on before rushing inside and locking the door. However, the noise draws more zombies to gather outside. On the 20th day, Joon-woo hears explosions and rushes to the window, realizing the city is being bombed. Believing this is the end, he records a short video, simply saying hello and goodbye before stepping onto a stool to take his own life. As he waits, a sudden laser beam shines into the room through the window, pointing at the word "no" on a sign. Joon-woo struggles with the rope until he breaks free, then reads the full message the laser is highlighting, which says, "Don't be an idiot." When he looks outside, he sees Yoo-bin watching him from her apartment with binoculars. Using hand signals, they agree to meet again at 7. A glimpse into Yoo-bin's home shows that she is very well prepared and has plenty of survival gear. She's even set up a trap by the entrance and shares her water with her plant. The next morning, Joon-woo sleeps in and looks out the window at 11. Feeling sorry for him, Yoo-bin decides to greet him anyway. Using hand signals in their phones, they exchange names and a few words. Just then, Yoo-bin hears a noise, so she tells him they'll meet again at 7. She then grabs her axe and turns around to see a zombie caught in her trap. After taking a moment to gather her courage, she kills it. That night, it starts raining, so both Joon-woo and Yoo-bin place pots outside to collect water. Yoo-bin also puts her plant outside. While looking at Joon-woo's building, she notices that the 8th floor is empty. The next morning, Joon-woo wakes up early, but he feels weak from hunger. Seeing this, Yoo-bin tries to throw a rope to his balcony using a ball, but it falls to the ground. Joon-woo then sends out his drone with the rope, and once it's secured on both sides, Yoo-bin attaches a bag of food and a note that says, "Eat slowly." At that moment, Joon-woo realizes a zombie firefighter has picked up the ball and is now pulling the rope. The table on the other end is dragged across Yoo-bin's apartment, slamming into her and knocking her unconscious. With the table stuck against the railing, the firefighter zombie starts climbing the rope. Joon-woo throws empty bottles to stop him, but none of them hit. Desperate, he sends out his drone, flying it close to the zombie to make him fall. The drone even manages to scratch the zombie's cheek. The zombie keeps swiping at the drone, forcing Joon-woo to carefully avoid each attack. When zombies start banging on his door, he gets distracted, and the drone drops, but he regains control just in time. Unfortunately, the firefighter grabs the drone and smashes it, but before he can climb further, Yoo-bin wakes up and chops off his hand, sending him falling. Later, while checking her bruises in the mirror, Yoo-bin sees Joon-woo flashing a message on his phone that says, "Stay strong." After some time, Joon-woo notices his food supply is running low again, and reminds himself that he must survive for his family. He covers his feet and head before sneaking out of his apartment late at night. The hallway is filled with bodies, including Sang-chul's, so Joon-woo quietly takes his keys while avoiding a nearby zombie. He enters Sang-chul's apartment and grabs food from the fridge, a jacket, some headphones, and walkie-talkies. Then, he notices something on the bed, and pulls back the covers to find a dead woman. At that moment, Song-chul's zombified brother attacks, knocking him to the floor. Joon-woo quickly uses the dead woman as a shield, giving him a chance to roll away and start running. The zombie chases after him, but Joon-woo throws a metal bar to slow him down and locks the door behind him, making it safely back to his place. After eating a small snack, Joon-woo cuts the headphone wires to use the jack as an antenna, but sadly, the radio app doesn't work. He then sends the bag back to Yoo-bin with a walkie-talkie and some food from Sang-chul's kitchen. They chat for a while to encourage each other, and Yoo-bin admits she once thought about ending her own life. During lunch, they both make noodles at the same time, pretending to eat together. They spend the afternoon talking, and Yoo-bin confesses that she's afraid of heights because she fell while climbing as a child. Just then, they hear a strange noise and assume it's raining, but when they look outside, they see every zombie in the area running at once. Since the zombies are storming through both of their buildings, the two survivors remain quiet and stay low. However, Yoo-bin accidentally knocks over a shelf, making a loud noise that grabs the zombie's attention. Terrified, she thinks this is the end. But Joon-woo suddenly remembers that all the apartments are connected, and quickly calls Yoo-bin's neighbor. The ringing phone lures the zombies away from Yoo-bin's door. Realizing that staying in their apartments is no longer safe, Yoo-bin tells Joon-woo about the empty unit on the 8th floor, and they agree to meet there. Joon-woo wants to come up with a strategy, but Yoo-bin takes immediate action. She uses a table and some rope to leap from her balcony, landing safely on the ground. Zombies instantly chase her, but she impressively dodges them or fights them off with her axe, even using car doors as weapons. As she nears the other building, she stumbles upon the cop's gun and grabs it. Just then, a zombie tackles her, but before it can bite, Joon-woo arrives and smashes it with his golf club. Now fighting side by side, the duo pushes through the horde, using abandoned cars as cover as they fight their way toward the building. Once inside, they slam the door shut and sprint to the elevator, barely making it before the glass shatters and zombies pour in. They ride up to the 8th floor and frantically search for an open apartment. Suddenly, they hear noises. There are zombies here too. Yoo-bin rushes to find an unlocked door, while Joon-woo blocks the hallway with furniture to buy time. At that moment, a masked man steps out of an apartment. He quickly shoves Yoo-bin inside before tossing a gas explosive at the zombies, giving Joon-woo the chance to escape into the apartment as well. After locking the door, Yoo-bin remains suspicious. This floor was supposed to be empty. However, the man seems friendly, offering them food and water. He even shares vital news. Since he's on a high floor, he occasionally catches radio signals, and he's heard that a rescue team is on its way. Joon-woo and Yoo-bin are overjoyed, but suddenly, Joon-woo collapses. The man drugged his water. Since Yoo-bin only took a sip, she's only groggy. The man ties her hands and drags her into another room, locking her in with his zombified wife. The blood-smeared walls hint that she has already eaten their baby. Standing outside, the man tugs on a rope, slowly unleashing his wife while explaining that he just wants to keep her alive. At that moment, Joon-woo regains consciousness and points the cop's gun at the man, begging him to reconsider. But the man ignores him and releases the rope. Joon-woo dashes forward to grab it. As the man searches for a knife, Yoo-bin fights desperately, but the zombie is too strong. She pulls so hard that Joon-woo loses his grip on the rope. Panicking, Joon-woo rushes to unlock the door, but the man shoves him away. Thinking quickly, Yoo-bin covers the zombie's face with a baby blanket. A sudden silence fills the room, making the men uneasy. When the man finally opens the door, Yoo-bin shoves his wife onto him. The zombie immediately sinks her teeth into his flesh, and as he realizes his fate, he embraces her, whispering, "I love you." Before he can turn, Yoo-bin fires a fatal shot at them both. The gunshots attract the zombies from the street, and they charge into the building. Yoo-bin hands Joon-woo the weapon and asks him to finish things before they turn. At first, he refuses, but she insists they should die as humans rather than become zombie food. Tears streaming down his face, Joon-woo hesitantly raises the gun. Just then, they hear the sound of approaching helicopters. Determined to survive, the duo throws another gas explosive into the corridor and forces their way to the stairs. A massive swarm follows them, and a zombie grabs Yoo-bin. She fights back with her axe while Joon-woo grabs a bicycle, blocking the path long enough for her to escape. He convinces her to run to the roof while he buys more time. Yoo-bin reaches the rooftop, but the helicopters are nowhere in sight. Meanwhile, Joon-woo struggles against the relentless horde, barely managing to shove them back before sprinting upstairs and barricading the rooftop door with a ladder. Realizing their last hope may be gone, he screams, "We're still alive!" As both he and Yoo-bin break down in tears. Suddenly, the helicopters return. Soldiers open fire, holding off the zombies long enough for Joon-woo and Yoo-bin to jump into the chopper. As they fly away from the devastated city, Joon-woo's phone regains signal. He receives messages from his family. They're alive. Watching the ruins below, Joon-woo recalls the countless social media posts from survivors waiting for rescue. He imagines his personal tag, "I must survive," changing to alive. What's your thoughts about this movie? Let us know in the comment section. Subscribe and turn on notification to get more movie recaps. Don't forget to like and share this video.